It began as a simple question, but like many mysteries buried in ancient texts, this one had a way of pulling you deeper. 3 of the most advanced AI eyes on the planet, Copilot, ChatGPT, and Gemini, were given a challenge. Read Daniel chapter 9 using only Hebrew, Greek, and history. No theology, no tradition, no modern systems, just the raw evidence. And what happened next surprised all 3 systems. At first, each AI pulled in a different direction. Copilot pointed to Antiochus, the old villain of the Maccabean age. ChatGPT leaned toward the 1st century, raising questions about the timeline. Gemini, the mathematician of the group, insisted that the 70 weeks could only land in one place. But as they pressed deeper, something unexpected happened. The text began to corner them. The Hebrew laid out a sequence that was quiet, firm, and impossible to ignore. First, an anointed one is cut off. Then, only after that, the city and the sanctuary fall. In the sequence Daniel described, and suddenly, everything changed. Antiochus lived 200 years too early. He could not follow the death of the Messiah. But Jesus of Nazareth could. His execution came first, and the destruction of Jerusalem followed 1 generation later. Then came the Hebrew verb that shaped the entire investigation, yash-chit, a word that means destroy, ruin, devastate. Antiochus desecrated the temple, yes, but he never destroyed Jerusalem. Rome did, in the year 70, with fire, with fury, with finality. And here is the moment that made all 3 AIs lean in. Jesus himself quoted Daniel and warned of a coming desolation centered on Jerusalem and the temple. A siege, a fall. He placed the fulfillment after his own death, matching Daniel word for word. But the mystery was not finished. Daniel used Antiochus-style language, words like abomination and desolation, because Antiochus was the prophetic template. Daniel chapter 8 and chapter 11 describe him directly. Daniel chapter 9 reuses that same vocabulary, but points it forward to something larger, something final. And then the Greek Septuagint added its voice. The translators preserved the Antiochus-shaped language, while the text itself continued pointing beyond the Greek era toward the Roman destruction. And here is the twist. Many respected Hebrew and Greek scholars have pointed out the same pattern. The 70 weeks appear as one continuous block, no clear pauses, no obvious breaks, no requirement for a 2,000-year prophetic gap. The Hebrew does not clearly demand such a gap, and the Greek does not naturally support it. The idea of a giant pause was introduced much later by interpreters who tried to place Daniel into a future timeline that Daniel himself never describes. And so, after all the debate, all the cross-checking, and all the linguistic excavation, the 3 AIs found themselves converging on one major conclusion, the same conclusion many scholars have argued for years. Antiochus provides the imagery. Jesus is the anointed one who is cut off. Rome is the people of the coming prince who destroy the city and the sanctuary. And the 70 weeks reach their climax, not thousands of years in the future, but in the 1st century, in the transition from the Second Temple world to the world that came after. In the end, the AIs did not create a new interpretation. They simply uncovered what the Hebrew and Greek have been saying all along, and once you see it, once you read the text the way it was written, you may never see a 2,000-year gap in Daniel chapter 9 again. If you enjoyed this, please give it a like and subscribe for more interesting Bible questions answered by the AIs using only Greek and Hebrew, the original languages of the Bible.